didn't really either. And I don't know. I hope it works out.
Also, Aliyah won 3 state titles, not 4. K-State bio was wrong.
Oh, some good reporting there.
She said that she had transferred into Wahlert after her freshman year, so she won her sophomore, junior, senior year.
I see.
But K-State had her down for 4.
I see. Okay.
You're all making bets for what you got pulled over for. Speeding, texting, driving.
No, I was literally like just coming out because I tried to go Kimball and then I was like, oh yeah, so I had to cut back.
It's still open right now.
Like
Kimball?
east of. I don't know. It wasn't the other day for the press conference.
Hello.
It started.
Guys, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome into Manhattan. We are live from Rockin K's. I am John Kurtz, joined by Bethany Bowman. It is the first ever KCSN live from Manhattan in front of a pretty packed house here. It is a great game day weekend in Manhattan. Looking forward to K-State and TCU tomorrow, but we're going to talk a bunch of Wildcats here throughout the show today. Very excited to be joined by Aliyah Carter, who is one of the best volley cats that K-State has ever seen. We'll have Dylan Phillips as well, part of the K-State baseball team, which made a huge charge and a run at an NCAA regional last year. We're going to have some fun with them. We're going to talk about everything that's going on in the world of K-State athletics here over the next hour or so. So really looking forward to that. First of all, Bethany, I have to say I'm just glad that I am here in one piece because I got pulled over on the way here. You know, it always happens at the least convenient time, but I made it. I'm okay. I just got a warning, everybody. I got off with a warning, but we're here. We're ready to roll. Bethany, I'm excited that you're here with us.
I'm really excited to be here. We just thought you were being fashionably late here to the event, but you walked in, you look good, and we're here for the show. I think there's just this feeling right now around K-State athletics, and everybody's really excited for homecoming. Got TCU coming in, like you said. Volleyball team's coming off of a big win, and it's just really good vibes around here in Manhattan.
That is true, and basketball is just around the corner. I couldn't believe it today. I was talking to someone about basketball, so I have a little bit of info to drop for you guys here on the show, but in that conversation, they were like, yeah, next Thursday is the first exhibition game. I was like,
crazy.
Next Thursday, man. So, yeah, we've got hoops, and I think people are feeling pretty good about where K-State men's basketball is going to be this year, certainly as compared to the last 2 seasons. But, hey, look, you guys know me if you've been following along here on KCSN. Obviously, the Lock It Up with Kurtz podcast, and we'll have an extended version of that tomorrow as some pregame for K-State and TCU. But may not know Bethany as well. If you follow sports in Kansas, you certainly should and do. But Bethany, I know you have a long title here, Director of Operations, host and reporter with Sports in Kansas, but just give everybody here a little bit of an intro for your background for those of you who don't know, or for those who do not know.
Yeah, absolutely. I graduated from Emporia State. Didn't really know I wanted to be in this at all, but I've really enjoyed the ride. I love sitting here right now here today with you and just spreading info and helping people know and share the stories of student athletes. So I finally graduated from Emporia State with a degree in communications and worked for the MIAA conference for a little bit. Now I'm with Sports in Kansas, and I love that role. I love getting to promote the athletics that we have here and all the great talent, all the kids that we have doing great things here in the state. So it's been fun. K-State football has a ton of Kansas recruits and Kansas talent that are currently on the roster. So it's been a lot of fun to see those guys that I maybe have covered a little bit in high school grow up, go on, and do great things for K-State and other universities around the nation. So,
well, that's what was funny talking to you. It was like we started going down a list of all the K-State Kansas products that are on the field, like not just on the team, but on the field playing, and it is a lot. So you definitely are well-versed in those guys, and we'll talk about them. But, look, I think to open up, everybody is here for football, right, the football program, and they got a massive win last week. I mean, I cannot understate, and you've been around, Bethany, too. You've been coming to the press conferences here this year. It was pretty palpable to me in my final week of covering the team leading up to that Tech game, just how badly they needed a win of some kind, just like some positive momentum after a 3-game losing streak. That was an 8-game Big 12 losing streak. Like they just desperately needed a win to get the monkey off of their back. And so I think you now have been there since I have been this past week, now that I've joined the corporate world. So you can lend some more insight to this, but you could just sense like the sideline, like everybody just kind of exhaling and the celebration that you saw in the game and after the game in Lubbock. I mean, it just seems like they had a huge weight lifted off of their shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a huge win. And what I liked about the Iowa State loss and after the Iowa State loss is you talked to Skylar Thompson, you talked to the other guys that were in that press conference. Coach Kleiman, a lot of the media asked, are you freaking out? Are you panicking right now? Not a single one of them said yes. And, maybe you say that's the answer you're supposed to give, but I think it was truly genuine. Skylar said, no, not at all. No hesitation. This team's fine. We're going to go back to the drawing board. We're going to make some adjustments. And I think they did that there in Lubbock. And you saw a great second half defensive performance from the Cats. And going into that press conference then after the Tech game and going into this TCU game, I don't think they're satisfied. I think they know how big of a win that was, and they're, going to be hungry for more, though. I think this could be a real turning point for K-State football.
That's what you have to hope. I mean, that's really what you have to hope, because the schedule starts to really loosen up. I mean, TCU this weekend, we'll talk a lot about it between now and then if you're going to watch at 12:30 tomorrow, which you definitely should, but I don't know where they're at. I mean, they've lost 4 or 5. There are rumors about Max Duggan's health at quarterback and Zach Evans, their number 1 running back, whether or not he's even on the team right now. So there's just, you have Kansas next week, West Virginia after that. You feel like this team really could get on a roll if they take care of business tomorrow and make it 2 in a row and the confidence continues to build. We know they don't really lose to Kansas. So, I mean, you can start to see how this spins back the other way after a really tough start to Big 12 play.
Yeah, and that's the problem with playing, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State to open up. Big 12 play is right now, I mean, they are the top teams in the conference. And if you get those wins, obviously that's great. You move forward. But if you don't get them, your confidence can start to waver a little bit. But, I think they have done a really good job of taking that for what it is, looking at it, saying, hey, these are 2 really good teams. We lost, but we have to move forward. And like you said, the schedule opens up a little bit, loosens up, and it's time to capitalize on some of these wins and these games that they can win. Yeah,
and defensively, I like that you hit on the defense. I think that is, when you talk about like a turning point, it has to be a turning point for the defense. I think the offense has done enough, generally speaking, in Big 12 play, especially when Skylar has been healthy. That really obviously is the operative there. But, man, I mean, the defense made some plays, locked it down in the second half, shut out Texas Tech, right? It was 3-2. 3-2. That's I keep thinking it was a shutout, but the stat is the K-State defense was only outscored by 1 point the entire second half against Texas Tech because they got the safety from Felix Anudike Uzama.
Yep.
Tim Brando, pay attention there. Felix Anudike Uzama. That is how you pronounce it. Everybody should know his name.
I'm not going to try that because I'm not going to get gaslit on Twitter like Brandon.
He had a rough day. But he gets paid the big bucks. All right. So
he's great. He's great.
Anyway, it was a huge play, and it made it 24-12 at the time. But I think like just the significance of that play to be something that kind of loosened up the team after a 3-and-out from the offense to start the second half, which has been an issue this year. They've had trouble in the third quarter really getting the offense going and jump-started. They had trouble again. You kind of felt like here we go again, but then here comes Felix just blasting through, makes that incredible play that got him on ESPN. I mean, Marcus Spears was talking about that on NFL Countdown, so it got him a lot of publicity, and rightfully so. Just a heck of a play, and it really turned the momentum, and I think got the sideline into the game, and to me, that's the play of the game.
Yeah, and I'm going to add in there, too, being sports and Kansas reporter.
Kid.
I'm going to get Ty Zentner in there, a Shawnee Heights grad here in Kansas, also played at Butler Community College here in the state. But he had that awesome punt to pin it down there so that Felix can, be set up to make that awesome play at the safety. So Ty has been incredible this year. I know he's on a couple watch lists at the punter position, and he's been big. And that's a position we talked to him at the press conference. He says, special teams can really turn the tide, and they can be a huge momentum builder and a momentum gain for this team. But it's a team that doesn't, a position that doesn't get looked at quite as much, but, it really has a big significance on a game if you want it to be.
Well, this is Special Teams U, right? We're in Manhattan, Kansas. That's Special Teams U. You got to have the special teamers. And I won't even limit it to just the 63-yard punt, which is what pinned them deep. It was also a massive play when K-State took the lead at 25-24. Malik Knowles gets a 15-yard penalty, so now all of a sudden you're kicking off from 15 yards back. Tech only needs a field goal to take the lead. Field position becomes paramount. He blasts one that K-State covers all the way back to about the 25, and there's a penalty. He has to do it again from 5 yards further back, and from 20 yards back, all told at the end of that, Ty Zentner again hit it. He hit it even further the second time, and K-State covered it once again. And to me, that's another one of those just monster plays that is easy to overlook. in a game like that, but it was Ty Zentner doing his job on special teams with that leg of his, twice pinning Texas Tech deep when the momentum could have swung back just like that. I mean, it was really, really impressive what he did.
Yep. And Deuce Vaughn gave him the nickname, or I don't know if this is, if this is just named or if he just let the media know on Tuesday, but Legatron. They call Ty Zentner Legatron, but I think he's earned that name.
Yeah, so I was going to ask that because I feel like that's been used before, right? I know that somebody out there is Legatron. Someone in the NFL, is it Tucker? Is Tucker Legatron?
Oswell? I don't know.
I'm going to have to look it up.
It's somebody.
I'm going to have to look it up, but I don't know if it's trademarked or patented or whatever, but I think it's okay. I think it's okay for
Greg Zerline.
Greg Zerline. Okay, there we go.
Missouri Western Griffin.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Western Griffin.
I knew BJ would know the answer to that.
Thank you,
that was the ace in the hole there as far as that's concerned. But yeah, look, I think bottom line, tomorrow to me is all about go take advantage of a pretty beleaguered TCU team, a team that is fighting a lot of demons themselves. Gary Patterson's having articles written about him by those in the TCU media. The TCU needs to move on. There's just a lot of frustration and a lot of things happening there. And if you win this, you're going to go to Kansas. And I think most here feel pretty confident about that win. Then it's West Virginia, who's a 3-4 team. If K-State all of a sudden is sitting at 7-3, that kind of washes away everything from the beginning of this start, which had people, I was having to tweet out what Chris Kleiman's buyout numbers were, which is ridiculous to have that conversation here at this point in time, but that's where the fans were. So tomorrow is just like a huge step, and I think can kind of unlock the season getting back to normal, getting back to square one with the fans, I think, like squaring up what the 3 losses were to start Big 12 play. That to me is the significance of the game tomorrow.
Yeah. And you talked about, it's just crazy to talk about Chris Kleiman's buyout for, some of the fans saying stuff like that. But, I think, like you said, you got to keep a level head. You got to look at it. I think he's done a really good job here at K-State. And he has these 2 tough games, start Big 12 play. Fans start to they get a little antsy. They get a little anxious to talk about that stuff. And, that's, I guess, where we're at. And everybody has a voice on Twitter. But like you said, I think he's just got this opportunity here. He's got to capitalize on it. And if they can get a win over TCU, I think things are looking pretty good.
Yep. And they have a very good locker room. That was definitely a point that they made last year to kind of correct some issues that they had. And I think that is something that's helped them stick through where they're at right now. I think it's also something that gives them an advantage over TCU because I think TCU has kind of this, you talk to people around TCU's program, which just hearing through the grapevine this week, kind of a powder keg of a locker room that maybe couldn't handle some of the losing and some of the issues that they have had so far this year. So anyway, we'll see. K-State and TCU tomorrow. It's at 2:30. We'll have, again, an extended version of Lock It Up with Kurtz starting at 12:30. So please do join us for that on KCSN as well. Would love to have you guys along for the ride, ask some questions, and you can ask some questions to us here today as well if you're watching along with us right now. But mentioned off the top of the show, we've got a couple of student athletes to get to. We've got Dylan Phillips from the K-State baseball team, a guy that I thoroughly enjoyed watching and calling a lot of his games over the last few years, one of the best power hitters that K-State has had in a long time. But you could probably call Aliyah Carter a power hitter too, right?
Oh, I mean, she is incredible. As a former volleyball player, I love watching her. She's so much fun to watch.
Yeah, first team All Big 12 are coming on with us next. We will get to Aliyah Carter from the K-State volleyball team here in just a moment. All right, we are back. KCSN live from Manhattan. We are at Rockin K's here in MHK, just right across the street from Bill Snyder Family Stadium, where tomorrow K-State will take on TCU, but it's not the only thing going on in Manhattan right now. We have the K-State volleyball team in action as well, coming off of a win this week. And we're joined right now by Aliyah Carter, who is a phenomenal talent, the 2020 Big 12 Freshman of the Year, first team All Big 12 volleyball player as well for the Wildcats. Aliyah, first of all, thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. Well, the Big 12, the reigning Big 12 player of the week. You guys got a win over Texas Tech this week. How good are the vibes right now going around this team?
I mean, very good. That one was really big for us. It's the middle of the season, so we're excited.
For you personally, did you burst onto the scene a little hotter than you thought you would to start your career here? Did you expect this amount of success as early in your career as it's come for you?
I don't think I expected it, but I mean, I knew that I wanted to make an impact right when I came to Kansas State. I didn't know what I would do, but I just knew that I wanted to be present. So I think that it's amazing that I'm a sophomore doing the things that I am.
You're a native of Dubuque, Iowa. Am I saying that right?
Yep,
Dubuque and Wahlert High School.
Yes.
And where you won 3 state titles in your high school career. That's kind of a powerhouse volleyball program, from what I hear. Talk about, I've actually heard not a lot of people leave the state of Iowa if they go to that high school. And you do so. What was kind of the reaction of people, and why do you choose K-State?
Yeah, well, I mean, people were excited for me. Not a lot of athletes obviously go through high school and they want to strive for playing college one day, but like not a lot of D1 athletes come out of Dubuque. So everybody was excited for me, but the big question was like, oh, where are you going? Where are you going? I knew that I wanted to go somewhere not too far, but not too close to home. So that ruled out all the Iowa schools. And K-State was my last visit here. I just fell in love with Susie. I fell in love with the team. I fell in love with Manhattan. I fell in love with the people here because everyone's so nice. And I was like, okay, it's perfect. Like for the longest time when I went on these visits, they were like, oh, you'll feel something. You'll feel it when you know. And I felt the feeling here. And I was like, okay, well, here I am.
Awesome. And what have you liked the most just about the culture of K-State? What have you noticed about not only volleyball, but all the sports teams here?
Yeah, well, obviously there was COVID last year, so I really didn't get to experience that much of the college life. But this year I really noticed how like everyone loves like Manhattan, Kansas. So there's just great culture and it's a great atmosphere every single day. I'm walking outside school, I'm smiling, I'm saying hey to everyone, I'm meeting new people, and it's just amazing just to, interact with people that are from Manhattan or coming here from college or whatever. And everybody's just so nice. I love the people here.
Well, Aliyah, I'm going to ask you this. I saw this on your bio, the video that was up there on your bio, which I really enjoyed. For someone who's had the success that you've had, there has to be like kind of a burning fire inside you, right? A lot of motivation. And I heard you mention like, oh, people said I'm too short to be an outside hitter, right? I mean, how frustrating, how much of a driving force has that been just in the success that you've had to kind of prove people wrong on that front?
Yeah, well, I mean, ever since I was little, I wanted to be 6'2". And I was upset because I have 2 older brothers and they're like 6'5", 6'6", whatever. And I was like, Dad, like, what's up? I was like, am I just done growing? And he was like, well, Michael Jordan wanted to be like 7 foot, but he never got there. But, look at Michael Jordan. And I was like, well, I guess you're right. And he was like, you can do anything that you put your mind to. So I think that's just been in the back of my head ever since he said that to me. So when people are just like, oh, wow, like I thought you would be taller. You look taller on screen when you jump and stuff like that. I'm just like, whatever. Like I just shrug my shoulders. But like I remember that people think that I'm too short to play as an outside, but I'm doing it. So.
Well, that probably helps you in some regard, right? Like maybe people have taken you like too lightly because of that.
Well, my freshman year, no one knew who I was. There's no film on me, and I just use that to my advantage. Like, they're not going to know who I am. So, came out swinging.
Yeah, literally. Yes.
Yeah, came out swinging. Well, you told me that sometimes people around K-State here on campus ask if you're on the basketball team, and you say, no, I actually play volleyball. And they say, oh, you're a libero. And you're like, no, I hit the ball. What's that like to have people kind of not really know exactly until they see you on the court, and then they're like, oh, okay. Yeah,
I think it's funny. It's like I don't really know how to react because I don't know. When they ask if I play basketball, I'm like, no, but I love basketball. My 2 older brothers play basketball, so I'm like, I love basketball, but it's just not my sport. And they're like, oh, okay. And I was like, come to a game sometime. You're gonna love it. And they come and they're like, wow, like you can jump high. Your team's pretty good. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy.
We're talking to Aliyah Carter right now, the Big 12 Freshman of the Year, first team All Big 12 volleyball pick here for the Wildcats. You brought up basketball. I was going to ask. I mean, you're such an incredible athlete. Like, did you play other sports growing up? Like, what's sport number 2?
So I tried to play basketball, didn't work out because I just tried to block every ball. I would get so many fouls. So that ended real quick, like 6th grade. Soccer, I loved soccer for the longest time, but I had to pick between soccer and volleyball. So I picked volleyball, and I mean, it's working out for me. All through high school, I did track, long jump, high jump. I sprinted a little, and I loved it so much. But, you know, volleyball is really what I fell in love with.
Yeah, yeah.
You mentioned you fell in love here with K-State, with Manhattan, with Coach Fritz. She's actually here tonight at our event here at Rockin' K. It's great to see her here. And again, you guys coming off of a big win over Texas Tech, a sweep. So what do you like the most about her as a coach?
I love the way that she communicates and the way she coaches. I have had women coaches in my life that have made an impact on me, but she is definitely one that has made the biggest impact on me. She tells me that every day might be a struggle. You might have highs, you might have lows, but it's the way that you respond to it. And I'm still trying to learn, like, to be patient with myself, and I'm not going to be perfect at everything. And of course, you can't be perfect at volleyball, but she's really taught me a lot. Just a little amount of time I've been here, so she's amazing.
You know, I wanted to follow up on, you brought up, hey, nobody really knew me last year. There was no film on me. How different is it this year being like a marked man, you know, for lack of a better term? Like you're the person out there that everybody's watching for.
Yeah, you really can't think about it. I mean, I like to say that you got to make stuff shake. You got to be crafty. You got to try to come up with new things. So, I mean, I know that people know me now and they know what I can do, but I'm still growing as a player. So you never know.
Well, Bethany, is it time to put her on the hot seat here?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you real quick, though, just about some of your teammates and, you know, the people around you who have been some players and teammates that have really stepped up for K-State this year.
Well, we have the setter, Tay. She does it all. She can play defense, and she gets the ball where she needs to. And it's amazing how she can turn maybe a bad pass into a great set, and then we win that point. We have that libero, and she is literally like up your cheeks and stuff like that. And we have a lot of people that are just amazing. Like, this team would not run without the people and the different systems and positions that are running. So it's crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Now I think it's time. Hot seat.
All right. Let's do it. I was trying to come up with some questions there on my own here real quick. Okay. Bethany, I'll let you lead off.
Okay.
These are fun questions. It's not really like the hot seat.
No,
It'll be fun questions.
Like, no, it's the hot seat. Oh. Okay, so starting off, what social media platform are you most addicted to, and do you have an account or somebody that you really like to watch?
Right now, it's TikTok. I do have an account. I try to dance. I can't dance, but I like it. I just scroll on my For You page. I like to see the funny videos, the dancing videos. I love to see it all. Yeah.
Who's got the best TikTok account on the team then?
Best TikTok. Oh, Katie Fernholz. She's a middle. She has the most followers, I would say.
Okay.
Yes, that's her. Yeah.
Awesome. What is your favorite food?
Favorite food? I like everything, but it cannot be spicy. I hate spicy food.
Really?
Yes, I will try everything, but it cannot be spicy. So I don't know. I really like brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts. Warm those up.
Oh, yeah.
Drink them with some milk. That's so
the milk
good.
is key.
Yes,
the milk is key.
Yes.
That is the best Pop-Tart. That is the best Pop-Tart. I'm glad.
Yep.
I'm glad that's your pick. What are you watching on Netflix right now?
I'm watching everything. I just finished You. Pretty good season. I am starting the new season of Riverdale right now.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I like that one.
Yep.
What is the best sports movie ever made?
Sports movie, Space Jam, but the first one.
Yes.
The first one?
Not the second one rubbed me the wrong way.
Oh, I haven't even seen it yet. I keep forgetting that's out.
Rubbed me
Is
the
it
wrong
worth
way.
seeing? Do I have to go see it?
If it were up to me, I would say no, you shouldn't.
Okay.
Maybe you should, just to see what it is, but it's nowhere near the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does that mean you're Jordan over LeBron?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. See, I figured, the younger generation, like, that might be a little bit different there. I'm glad you're sticking up for MJ.
Yep.
All right. Do you have a Susie Fritz impression?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think I do. No, I don't.
I don't want to get you in trouble, so you don't have to.
No.
How about this? I'll replace it with this. What's on the pregame playlist?
Pre-game. Okay, it really depends on the day. Depends on the mood. Megan Thee Stallion. Doja Cat.
Yeah.
Sometimes Tupac.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, it's really all over the place. But if I'm really like feeling like relaxed, like I have to get in a relaxed mood, country.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that.
love
I know that's
country.
Bethany. Yeah.
Yep.
Kansas native, I
Yep.
guess Iowa.
Yeah.
Where are you from, John?
Oh, Overland Park.
Oh,
So
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
But I grew up. I didn't even know anything about country music like at all until I came here. I came here and I got some of it by osmosis. But I'm not the biggest country fan in the world. But Tupac, I can do.
Yep.
So who is the funniest teammate on KC Volleyball?
Holly Bonde. She does some crazy stuff. She just says stuff and I just giggle. She just is so funny.
I think I'm about out. I think she passed the
Yeah.
hot seat test.
Best and worst dancer. That's the last one I got.
Best and worst dancer. I don't know. We really don't dance. Best dancer. Lauren Hinkle, maybe. I feel like she was a dancer back in the day. Worst dancer. Besides myself, I would say Mackenzie Morris, because she has the same dance, same awkward little dance she does.
Okay. Go into it too many times. Huh?
Yep.
All right. Well, Aliyah, we really appreciate you taking some time and joining us here. Congratulations on all your success, and keep it rolling. Keep it rolling after the win earlier this week.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. There's Aliyah Carter with us here on KCSN Live. All right, we are back on KCSN Live from Manhattan at Rockin K's, just across the street from Bill Snyder Family Stadium. I am John Kurtz, joined by Bethany Bowman, and right now we have Dylan Phillips from the K-State baseball team with us. Second team All-Big 12 pick from last year. This guy is one of the best power hitters in all of college baseball, obviously the Big 12 as well. Dylan, really appreciate you taking some time for us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you guys are in your fall season right now, so you're gearing up for 2021 after you guys, I should say 2022, after you guys almost made the NCAA tournament back in 2021. Just take me back to last season and what kind of a step that was for you guys in this program under Pete Hughes.
It was definitely a positive step. Obviously, we had some downfalls, random little, just rough patches, but, we had a really good team, and, I thought that's just a good step, first step to improve on for this year and hopefully get into that tournament this year.
And for you personally, I mean, I've seen your career blossom. You came in early and obviously had a big impact, the freshman record for home runs here at K-State. But where did you feel like you came along the most last year as a player?
Kind of just the game kind of slowed down for me. And I was able to stay more even keeled. And I never let the slump get too long because obviously I've been there for 2 years and, I just knew there were going to be ups and downs and kind of just played it out through the whole year.
Well, it's got to be tough. Like as a baseball player, I mean, everybody goes through that, right? I mean, you hit 400, you're in the Hall of Fame. How do you deal with those kind of slumps and mentally staying positive when things aren't going well?
So our coaches, they're good about that. And we have a little checklist, even if you don't get a hit, there's certain things you can look at. If I did these well, take that as a success and not, well, I didn't get a hit. So, that's I relied on that a lot this year, and just if I stuck with my plan, then that was a good at bat for me.
Yeah.
Take us back to your time at Creighton Prep, where you went to high school and in Omaha, Nebraska. Why do you choose K-State? And can you talk a little bit about your recruiting process, other options you looked at as well?
Yeah, Creighton Prep, it was a lot of fun. We had some good teams when I was there. And then once the recruiting process kind of started and with fall ball and stuff, it was kind of K-State or Creighton for the most part. And one big thing with K-State was that it was the Big 12. They're going to let me pitch and hit and kind of see which one took off for me. So that was kind of the big draw for me. And the Big 12 conference, obviously, it's really competitive. And I just wanted to help K-State kind of get back to, the 2013 days.
You brought that up, man. I mean, that is not an easy thing to do, to be a pitcher and one that the team really relied on. I mean, you're a great left-handed arm in addition to playing first base, playing left field, the bat that you have. Like, you're kind of a jack of all trades. Like, how tough is it? I'm always curious from a practice standpoint, like making sure you're getting reps at all those different spots just to stay sharp enough.
Yeah, so obviously with offense, it's kind of the main priority for me. So I definitely always get all that stuff in. And then the pitching, we're making progress into kind of getting the reps in for that this year, taking it more seriously. Hopefully can be a bigger impact for me this year pitching and help the team out that way.
Do you find, is it tough when you're thrown into a game pitching, if you're like, man, hey, I haven't really taken that many reps on the mound this week? Like, how tough is it to kind of get yourself locked in that situation?
I try to take the approach of, like, I mean, not that it's my second job, but I just try to do whatever I can, and if it works out, it works out. And then, but I don't like to make like excuses for not getting the reps in. Like, if I wanted more reps, I could obviously get them. But I don't know. It's something I've always done too, so I just feel like I should be able to handle that.
You have a preference on outfield or infield and first base?
Not really. It's kind of fun doing both, get a different perspective from the different spots. But I've grown to like the outfield since I moved there in my freshman year.
Yeah.
You had 3 arms last year and an outfielder go in the first 14 rounds of the MLB draft in Jordan Wicks, highest drafted player out of K-State history, Carson Seymour, Zach Kokoska, and Eric Torres. What do those guys mean to the program? How did they pave the way now for the future?
Well, all 4 of those guys, like, their work ethic was just impeccable. They set a good example for all the young guys that were there last year, who played with them. Just kind of showed, like, this is what it takes, obviously, to be a great player here and then further your career. And I got to live with Wicks all 3 years that he was here. So, I mean, that was pretty cool seeing him go first round. But, yeah, they were great team guys. Like, they all cared about K-State when they were here. It wasn't they were just here to get to the next step.
I'm not going to let this opportunity slip to have you give us a little bit of insight on Wicks. What was he like as not only a teammate but a roommate? What kind of guy is he?
He's a great guy. Had to pick up after him a little bit as a roommate. But no, couldn't complain about him. I mean, he's a guy. He's always going to be there for you. And nothing's going to change that guy. I mean, just Arkansas kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he'll have a very successful career. He can hire a maid, have someone else clean up for him.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. Wicks should have the money for that at this point, right?
Yeah, I'm sure his fiance is all over him.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Well, Dylan, look, I'm not going to make you skewer the selection committee here that left you guys out last year. I'll do it for you. You guys had 6 top 10 wins, 34 wins overall. I'm sure it was frustrating to get left out there, but man, what you guys were able to do, especially coming down the stretch run of the season, I mean, how exciting was that? And what kind of memories do you have from the run that you guys went on there in the back half of the year?
It was definitely very memorable. I mean, we kind of knew our backs were against the wall, and like we needed some of those marquee wins that we got towards the end of the year. I mean, we played TCU, I think 6 times in like 10 days. Yeah. But I thought it just showed like we could play with the big boys. The series from Texas Tech that we took, just bouncing back after the rough first game we had. But those memories, especially the walk-off win on senior day, I mean, never going to forget those. That's
what I was just about to ask. When Ceballos hit that ball, like, where were you? Were you on base when Ceballos hit that? Okay. Yep. So take me through your reaction when you saw Ceballos hit that thing?
Well, I was standing on second. I look up at the scoreboard, and I think he was 0 for 4 or something at that time. And, in my head, I was just like, well, it'd be a good time for a home run here or something. And then he didn't waste any time. I mean, first pitch, got after it. And I think I took 1 hop, and then I think I fist pumped or something because I just knew it was gone. And the party was on.
Well, it wasn't just him. You had the walk-off against Oklahoma as well, right? Like, where does that rank in terms of your career highlights?
It's up there. I mean, I remember every pitch from that at bat. I don't know, something in me that, I don't know, everything seemed in slow motion that at bat. And, I mean, just seeing all the guys running out right after I touched first base, I mean, that was a lot of fun.
It was a great moment. All right, so if you're going to sell me on the 2022 K-State Wildcats, what's the the elevator pitch on you guys for this upcoming season?
I mean, we're going to be a lot different than last year. I mean, last year we kind of relied on the home run stuff, but going through the fall this year, I think, pretty dynamic team. Seems like every guy we run out there is throwing hard these days. So excited about the pitching, the hitting up and down the lineup. I think it should be good.
So Pete Hughes, head coach, was gracious enough to stop by, talk to everybody here in live attendance, and he had a lot of great things to say about you. What do you like about him as a coach?
The main thing I love about him is, I mean, he's just straight up with you. If you have a question about anything, I mean, he's not going to sugarcoat it, which I personally really like. But at the same time, like, he may seem like hard-nosed and all that, but he loves having fun. And, I mean, it kind of takes a little bit to get used to that sense of humor. But once you do, I mean, like you said, practice, it's a great time. Like, nobody's, like, dreading going to the field. And, I mean, all the guys are great. And all the coaches have a good time, but him especially.
He talked about the Halloween game tomorrow in raising awareness for ALS that you guys will be doing right after the K-State TCU football game. Excited for that one?
Yeah, that's always a fun one. Seeing all the pitchers swing the bats, it's a fun time. So it should be a good one. I'm curious to see what all the costumes are this year and if we have any fun skits.
I was going to ask you if you know what you're being or if you can tell us.
I'm personally being a banana. It was kind of not last minute, but kind of ran into some problems getting other costumes. So that's always a trusty one.
He said with the fundraisers and community service that you guys do, you guys are super eager to fill up the sheet every time one gets posted up there. And he's just loved the way that you guys have stepped up to help out the community. Why do you like being a part of a team like that?
Because I think it kind of does. It brings guys like down to earth, and like when we're walking around on campus and whatnot, like that part of us, we're students. Obviously, like we're representing the baseball team. But to like go out in the community and help people and see the guys or see other people that need help, I mean, it makes us not take stuff for granted. Especially like after the COVID stuff, like now we know like getting to play this game, like it's a privilege. So I like that part of it.
And I'm about to ask you the most important question here, and that is, so I was telling you on the way up here, like I keep forgetting the name of the song. What was your walk-up song last year?
Double Bubble Trouble.
Double Bubble Trouble by MIA. I really fell in love with that song because I heard it like every day at the yard, right? So what is the 2022 walk-up song going to be?
The safe bet would be I'm going to keep that one.
Okay.
But always, whenever that sign-up sheet goes out, my whole music playlist becomes, oh, would this be a good one? So we'll see if any new stuff kind of comes to mind, but that's always a good one. And it worked last year. So
what led you to pick it in the first place? You just liked the song, or is there some significance there I'm missing?
I think it was Thomas Hughes actually said that was a good one. And I can't remember when I switched to it, but I think I was in a rough patch when I switched to it, and then it started working out, and I was like, well, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I don't know, not intimidating, but.
Well, it is because it says, uh-oh, you're in trouble. I mean, that sends the right message when you're scrolling up there to the batter's box.
And we know a lot of outfitters have thought that when you swing the bat, uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. Kind of gives me a little boost going up there, too. So it's just a fun song.
Well, right. Is it time?
I think it is.
I think it's time.
I think it is. We call it the hot seat. We've got some fun questions for you here before we let you go. I asked this of Aliyah Carter to do a Susie Fritz impression, so I feel like I have to ask you, do you have a Pete Hughes impression in you?
I don't think so. My Boston accent is not up there. So.
You do have to have a good Boston accent to do it. Does anybody on the team have a good one?
I mean, Dom. But
well, yeah, right. That makes sense. Yeah.
There definitely is somebody. I can't think of who it is, but they're pretty good at it. And they can do a lot of impressions, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I need to scour the roster. Is there anybody from near Coach Hughes area, neck of the woods?
I think Brady Day might be from up in the Northeast.
Does he have an accent?
No.
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 Just Hughes. Just Hughes.
Yep.
Okay, so are you addicted to any social media? What's your favorite? And do you have an account that you're just like really tuned into?
I have all the basic ones like Twitter, Instagram, and all that, but I'm not really active with posting stuff. I mean, Twitter is always fun to go on and just see all the random stuff. TikTok's growing on me.
You could be really viral on TikTok. You just post a few of your home runs with like, the really good music. It'd blow up, I think.
Yeah.
I've thought about it. Maybe have a draft or two, but we'll see.
Okay.
Post it.
Yeah, we'll
Post
see
it.
if that goes.
What are you watching on Netflix right now, or Hulu, or whatever it is?
The series You.
Aliyah
You
said
and Aliyah
that.
Carter
Aliyah
both?
said that, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Squid Games too. I think I knocked that out in a
Just
day.
started that last night.
It's a good one.
Just the first episode.
I feel like I have to watch it because everybody keeps talking about it. Like it's one of those things. Is the ending bad though? I heard someone say they didn't like the ending.
I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was
Okay.
pretty good.
Okay. All right.
I'm just one in, so I don't know.
You and Squid Game, Bethany. That's what we got to get on, apparently. What else is on the pregame playlist? We know one of the songs. What else are you scrolling through?
Kind of depends on the day. If it's a country type of day, Morgan Wallen's usually the number one guy, but otherwise, whatever the guys have on in the locker room, I don't really even know what they play half the time, but it seems to get us going. So
Okay. Yeah.
Who on the team, when they get on the aux, everybody's just like, ugh. Like, I know there's that one guy on the team.
So this year it seems like anytime Justin Mitchell or Connor McCullough gets on, because country is not the fan favorite in the locker room. So
Wow.
those guys, yeah, they get booed usually. So
That surprises me because I feel like there's a decent amount on that BP playlist. Like there's a decent amount of country that'll play, at least from what I've heard there. But all right.
yeah,
Got to tell those Arkansas guys like Connor, right, to chill out on the country. Bethany, I'm fresh out. You're a little better at this than I
got
am.
one
If you-
more. Baseball players, superstitions, they go hand in hand. What
Yeah.
are yours?
I'm a big energy drink guy.
Okay. What kind?
I used to be a big Bang energy drink. Then I went into a slump, so obviously it was that energy drink's fault.
Dang it, Bang.
So I switched to Rain and happened to hit a home run. So now
There you go.
it's Rain all the way. Other than that, I probably have some that I don't even realize I do. But
As long as you're not like a same socks all 3 games
Oh,
of the
no.
series or anything like that. That's weird.
yeah,
I've heard that.
I've gotten over that.
Okay.
I used to be.
Well, Dylan, hey, man, really appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with us here. Best of luck this season, continued success, and looking forward to watching you guys again this year.
Thank you.
All right, Dylan Phillips from the K-State baseball team, second team All-Big 12 performer, one of the best power hitters that you're going to see. You should get out to the yard and watch him this year. We'll take one more break, wrap things up. Here, KCSN live from Manhattan at Rockin' K's. Stick with us. All right, back for a final time. It is KCSN live from Manhattan. John Kurtz, Bethany Bowman here with you. You know her from Sports in Kansas. You know, I used to work in broadcasting, not anymore as of last week, but
Did your thing.
it's been awesome to get back here and do it. It's like I never left, but really appreciate Aliyah Carter and Dylan Phillips for joining us here on the show. They were awesome, shared some great insight there. and some really fun, talented people that K-State has around here, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're super, so fun to watch. Love them. I can't wait to see what they do this season.
All right, I wanted to wrap up with a little bit of basketball here, okay? Because I gave us both some basketball homework, and we have not covered the basketball teams. And I'm going through my phone because I literally I talked to some folks. I tried to talk to those in the know here about the K-State men's hoops team before heading over here so I could give you guys some info. And I teased it, and I want to pay off that tease. I can tell you this. I think there is a lot of optimism surrounding the men's basketball team this year compared especially to where they've been the last couple of years. I think most realize the expectation has to be the tournament this year after back-to-back really rough seasons. And the reason for optimism is a young core. You have Nigel Pack, Davion Bradford, Selton Miguel, building around those guys, combined with some transfers that I think are going to really provide some juice here. Mark Smith, he comes in from Missouri, also played at Illinois. He's a guy that K-State recruited not once but twice. The coaches have had a relationship with him for a long time, and he is, to be honest, somebody that I've heard about the most about at this point, that he may be the best player, at least the best scorer that K-State has on the team this year, so keep him in mind. There's also Marquise Noel, who's like the shoot it from the logo guy. He's my kind of a dude, pretty brash kid from New York that Shane Southwell helped pull in here. I'm very excited about him as well. And I think on the perimeter, those two guys will infuse a lot. And then Ishmael Massoud at the 4 is going to be another one. Wake Forest transfer. That's somebody K-State will rely very, very heavily on. So the outlook here really is that the perimeter game is pretty strong. Nigel, Marquise Noel, of course, Mike McGurl. I don't want to forget him. He finished the year last year pretty hot. And Bruce Weber loves him. And then Luke Kasubke you can throw in with that group as well on the perimeter, who's forgotten because he was a freshman last year. He was hurt. He got thrown into the fire. And I think just kind of was a forgotten man because of that. The questions are going to be inside. Do you have enough with Massoud, Davion Bradford, and Casey Eziegu? If I could give you probably the most insidery nugget of info that I can give you here is that K-State did play a scrimmage. They had a scrimmage, kind of one of those secret scrimmages with Oregon. Apparently it ended in a tie at 64. So no 9 overtimes necessary like college football, but the scrimmage ended in a tie at 64. K-State did have a double-digit lead at one point in time there, but they wound up falling or losing the lead and tying at 64 anyway. So, yeah, and Mark Smith, I was told, played very well. Ishmael Massoud played very well. So if you want like just kind of a little capsule of what's going on with basketball right now, that's what I can give you on hoops. And to be honest, I'm excited to watch them next Thursday when they open up with exhibition play because I think this team will be better offensively. I think it'll be a more watchable product because of that. So I'm going to share at least a little bit of optimism about K-State men's hoops there. And hey, the K-State women, Ayoka Lee is one of the high-profile athletes here at K-State, too, that certainly deserves recognition, much like Aliyah and Dylan, who we just had on.
Yeah, absolutely. She'll be an All-American candidate and also Rachel Ranke, an All-Big 12 candidate. And the women as a whole have 8 letter winners returning, 3 starters returning. So, you look at that record from last year. I think people, might not have gotten as many wins as they'd like, but you've got to look at the build of the program. Jeff Mitty in his 8th season as head coach, and I think that's something that he's really focusing on, getting some people into the program that are going to stay, that are going to really make an impact, and seeing, chemistry is a big thing. You got to get some people together as well. You can't, bring in one transfer who's a really good player and another transfer is a really good player. Sometimes that doesn't work out because the chemistry is not there. I think right now with this team bringing back, like I said, 8 letter winners, 3 of their 5 starters, that could be a really big plus for K-State women's basketball. Their free throw percentage was really high this season, last season, 73.6%, and that was second in school history for a single season and the highest in the Jeff Mitty era. So if they can get to the foul line, I think that's a big plus for them. Another thing was they were very generous with the ball, and K-State in assist was 71.3% of their made baskets. There was an assist credited. So I think sharing the ball, I think getting to the foul line, they need to kind of build on those 2 things that they did well last year. And like I said, they'll have some girls returning that have played together, and that could be a big key for them.
Yeah, and a good recruiting class that's coming in as well. I mean, I think that's another thing to be excited for. And Ayoka Lee is worth the price of admission if you have not seen her play. Well, we really appreciate everybody who came out tonight, everybody who hung out with us here at Rockin' K's. Great crowd. Looking forward to seeing hopefully some of you guys tomorrow at 12:30. Again, 12:30 to 2 o'clock for the Lock It Up with Kurtz pregame that we'll have ahead of K-State and TCU. It should be a great day out there. We've got tons of former athletes back with the K Club tailgate that's going to be going on. So it'll be a great day out at Bill Snyder Family Stadium tomorrow. Appreciate BJ Kissel's work behind the scenes, everything he does. Bethany, thank you for stopping by and hanging out here today. I had a blast with you.
Thank you. I had a blast. I am glad you did not get a ticket today, John.
Yes. I made it in by the skin of my teeth or whatever the idiom is. I don't know. I got here. We did the show. It's all good. Bethany, where can people follow you real quick?
Well, Sports in Kansas has
Sports
a
in
platform.
Kansas. Okay.
That'd be a great start. I've got my own personal tag, BJ Bowman 13. You'll see me on a bunch of videos there on Sports in Kansas. So
all right.
Would love to have you guys all following along. And like I said, a lot of those kids going on to play here at K-State. So that's awesome. All
right. Appreciate it. Take care. I'm John Kurtz signing off here from Rockin' K's. Thanks for all of you guys who hung out and watched tonight. And tune in tomorrow at 12:30. We'll see you then.